Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I need you guys to pray for a Christmas miracle of some sort, on a couple of fronts. First, I'm a bit concerned about my work commitments uh, next semester. I teach at a couple of community colleges. I'm going to be teaching at Glendale Community College and Central Arizona College. Now, here's one thing you guys can do. If you want, you can Google these two colleges and get a vibe of it while you do say your prayers and pray as hard as you can to the God of dislikes. Uh, I am not so much concerned about the actual work. I mean, I got rockstar reviews at CAC last semester, and I got rockstar reviews at another community college that was in the same system as Glendale. And I am not so much. I have good chemistry with all my students. In fact, one of my students laughed at me when I told him about my plan to go on these blind dates and just hope for the best. But then when it turned out he backed away from his laughing, so it wasn't bad. Good chemistry with all the students. Several of them went to my art show 2 weeks ago. The problem I have is that the colleges are 50 miles apart from each other, and before I knew it, I got both contracts, and I'm hesitating on backing off of any of them. Right now, the other problem is I got to move out of this home. I'm packing. I'm going to be packing things today, and I kind of forgot. I knew I was moving. That's why I didn't hesitate on signing both of those contracts. But I kind of forgot that wherever I move, in total, I still have to drive 50 miles, right? And I'm going to have to think where to move to. The other thing I want you guys to pray for is that eventually, whether it be with my current girlfriend or somebody else, I find somebody that I can move together with. And I want to have a life again. See, last year I managed to accumulate another half ton of bismuth, another 300 ounces of silver, another, I maxed out my Roth IRA, but I didn't have a life. I want to be able to do that and have a life. Right now, I can only do one or the other. And if I got to move in with my significant other and there were two of us, I might have a chance to do that. I especially want to be I want to be eating out more because I like to be able to have that networking. Like for example, every time I get to eat at the dining halls on campus, granted I've never met anybody long term doing that, but even just being able to say hello to the people there, I like that, and I haven't been able to do that very much. Uh, so pray for something to happen. Maybe one of my art pieces fetches $1 million. I keep fantasizing I'm gonna do something like the banana on the wall kind of art, right? I yesterday or this past week I was making bismuth art, and I had this jar of slag that I usually recycle into more bismuth metal. There's a chemical reaction you can do, but I looked at the jar like this could be one of those things. And I fantasized about just putting out for auction somewhere, but I'm not sure where, right? I don't know if anybody has any tips on where to put random art for auction. Please feel free to leave a comment. I really could use that, right? Um, what else did I want to say? Uh, okay, another prayer. I've been talking to probably not relationship material, but I've been talking to uh, a friend of Evelina Falenta's. Evelina Falenta was the second place winner of Polish Idol season one, and been talking to one of her friends. She lives in Poland, obviously. Pray that things go somewhere with her. And I was fantasizing because don't get me wrong, I did enjoy talking to her, but I was fantasizing if if something sparks between us and I got to live with her in Poland. The cost of living in Poland's a lot cheaper. Obviously, the wages are a lot lower there too. But I have a lot of money that I could bring to Poland and do a lot of damage in terms of networking and all that. And I could semi-retire if I moved to Poland. Although bringing my assets there is going to be the tricky part, especially, well, the stuff that is now used to make Poland's prized invention, right? Oh, it's just my holdings in that alone I could probably retire if I could bring it to Poland, right? That's the tricky part, right? Um, what else do I need you guys to pray for? Pray that I have, pray that I find the right place to live. I'm just about to start two jobs, and pray that. You see, the other day, I almost had my prayers answered, but I guess God had other plans. I got into some road rage. What had happened was I was driving to my friend's home in Tempe, the friend that had helped me set up the blind date, which has turned out so well. When you get off the freeway to turn right into Tempe, there's this traffic light. It says no turn on red, but hardly anybody obeys that signal. And so I had gotten to a red light, and the car behind me was egging me on to run that red light, pounding his horn, gesturing at me. And I happened to have my windows open because here in Phoenix, it's actually pretty nice, 60 degrees. My windows open. It was a no turn on red, and the guy behind me was pounding on his horn, saying I should run it, and I ignored him. And the light turned green. I went, and he started tailgating me, and so he almost rear. He was so close to rear-ending me that I could feel the wind of his car behind, or his pickup truck. It was a pickup truck behind me, and so he started shouting, and I had my windows open. He shouted, "Where'd you learn to drive? You know, you drive like my grandmother," something like that. And I wish he had rear-ended my car. He probably would have totaled it because just given how old the car is, and every time I've gotten my car totaled by somebody else, I get much better uh, 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 compensation than I would have trying to sell the car. And I would have been nice to have that and go shopping for another car. Especially now it's December. You know the car prices are usually seasonably lower at the end of the year. But he came within a few inches of hitting my car. I'm gonna have to think hard about what to do every time I drive to Tempe. You know, like every time I get to that intersection, I hate being the first in line because everybody expects that you should be able to run that light for some bizarre reason. For some bizarre reason, I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, yes, I realize that that does seem like a pretty safe place to run, but I got enough going on in my life. I don't need to be going to traffic court or anything else, and I don't know what to do. Uh, Part of me thinks that maybe I should take a picture of these people's license plates and report it somewhere. I don't know. Uh, Part of me thinks that I just need to close my windows before I get there, and maybe put on some earplugs so I can ignore all that pleading and the whole. That wasn't the first time somebody honked at me. Other people haven't been so aggressive, but this guy was really aggressive. And so I really shouldn't have done that. I waved a Peter dislike at him. Maybe that was my mistake. I really shouldn't have done that. I need to stop doing that. Uh, Peter Dislike has gotten me into a lot of trouble at road rage situations. I was in Seattle. What had happened was we have this traffic light that's at the bottom of a hill, and I like to conserve gas. So if I see the lights turning red, I like to stop a good distance at the top of that hill, and I'll motion to people that they can cut in front of me if they want to. And it's not a big deal, right? Usually there's not a whole lot of traffic there. There might be one car behind me, and I might leave like a 3, 4 car length distance in front of me. And people get really upset at that for no good reason. It's not like they're going to go anywhere faster just by stopping at the bottom. In fact, they might get there slower because they won't be able to pick up speed as fast at the bottom of the hill. People just get upset because of the visual of that. And I used to get into really funny road rage situations. It was really nice because I was working very long hours at the time. I would drive to work and I would start the day with a road rage situation, and it would really wake me up, right? After only getting 3, 4 hours of sleep, and then somebody honking at you and waving Peter Dislikes at you and shouting obscenities of where did you go to driving school? You know, you drive like a grandmother or stuff like that. It can really wake you up, right? And I really loved it. So for like 6 months when I was working that job, every morning I started my day with a wake up call like that. It was really nice. Um, and but I wonder if there's a good signal for that. Here I'll let you Google the street view of. Let me see if I can find. I still remember that intersection. It was in Bellevue, Washington. It was on 8th Street. I gotta find where the crossroads are. 8th Street and is it 124th? I know it's right before you get into Bellevue, like the downtown area, right before the 405. I can recognize it if I see it. One, come on. Is it that one? No, it's 116. Here, go back. Probably this guy right here. That's not it. Oh my god. I'm driving my old neighborhood on Google Maps. A lot of memories. Northeast 8th Street with. You know what? As much as I talked trash about Seattle when I was living there were a lot of bright spots there too, and I had important connections. It looks so different on maps. I bet it was no, it's not 100th. It's there it is. 8th Street and 116th Avenue. You'd be driving down 8th Street on your way into Bellevue, and there was this hill, downhill, and the traffic light was at the end of it. And if I saw the traffic light was turning red, I often stopped at the top of that hill to conserve gas, and it drove a lot of people nuts. People would honk at me. I mean, I would let people cut in front of me. That wasn't a problem. But we're talking 3, 4 car lengths, and people there was maybe like 1 or 2 cars behind me. And one time I did that, and there was a police car behind me. I thought, oh my god, I'm in so much trouble. And he was the only car in that whole history of me living there that didn't honk at me. He understood why I was doing it probably. Um, so that was good, and he didn't pull me over or anything. Um, but that was fun. It was a nice way to wake up every morning. It was kind of like the equivalent of caffeine for me in the morning to get into road rage just before the beginning of the day. It was, the early morning, like 7, 8 a.m. Sun was out. It was very bright, so I didn't feel uncomfortable. I wouldn't recommend doing this at like 2 in the morning. If somebody's honking at me at 2 in the morning, I'd probably just pull forward. I'm not somebody who wants to stir trouble. But at 8 a.m. and people are just honking for no good reason, I just let it be and get excited and go to work. Right, that was kind of fun. But I need you guys to pray for me because I uh, I really could use some kind of breakthrough, whether it be that I get to meet somebody that or maybe have already met somebody that I get to move in with, and then I can finally have some semblance of life again, right? Um, I know I'm asking for a lot. Um, I was just I was just reading an article about, or not an article, but this I was watching a YouTube video about this couple who were talking about how even making small extra mortgage payments, like $20 here, $40 here. They had a bank that had a coin counting machine, and every time they bring a 20 or $30 worth of change to the bank, they would just put that toward an extra mortgage payment. How much money that would save, and how that was the equivalent of getting a whatever percent return. And I'm thinking to myself, gee, they have two incomes. That's why they could even afford to be talking about that. Uh, I so badly, I didn't do it, but I so badly wanted to ask them, if you guys weren't lucky enough to have met each other, could either of you have bought a house alone? The answer would probably be no, right? Oh, and I just don't have that kind of charm in me. I had a friend in. See, I did a lot of tutoring when I was well, throughout my life, right? But I haven't always made a whole lot of money. I had a well, my teaching assistant at uh, CAC did some tutoring, and she makes more. She's only what 23 years old. She makes more tutoring now than I did. Even I did last year when I was working at a tutoring center. I just don't have that kind of charm, right? Uh, I did tutoring for family friends, and half the time I didn't even charge anything. And she's making what, I don't want to say the number, but more than I ever did. The only time I really made money doing tutoring was during the height of COVID, when nobody wanted to go to people's homes, and I would sometimes find somebody in the black market, pretty much, right, on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace. That was the only time I ever made good money, but that was because I was taking a huge risk with my health, or at least people thought I was, right. It probably wasn't that bad of a risk, but that's how bad of a charm I have, right? And even then, I probably, if it were somebody else, they probably could have made more, right? I In my whole life, I've only made so I made more than $100 an hour only for 3 hours in my entire life, right? For those for two sessions, one for 2 hours and another for 1 hour. So there's only been 3 hours in my life where I've made more than $100 an hour. Actually, four. If you count that time that I made an art piece well, it didn't instantly sell. I still had to market it. I don't know if you want to count that. Uh, but only 3 or 4 hours out of my entire life did I made a three-digit number per hour income. Right? That's how badly I suck. Right? Anyway, so what did I need you guys to pray for? My job, but it's mostly the commute that I need you guys to pray for. Pray that somebody steals my car, because I usually get better, or somebody steals my car after I move my stuff into the new apartment, right? Because I usually get a better settlement from insurance than I can sell the car for, right? Pray that the office burns down, because we need renovations badly. So car gets stolen after I move everything out, obviously, into the new apartment. Office building burns down. Pray that pray that the uh, the girl that I'm talking to, Evelina Falenta's friend, and that I get to inherit her citizenship. How long do you have to be married to inherit somebody's citizenship in Poland? I gotta find that out. How long? In the U.S., it's 3 years, but in Poland, also 3 years. That's not bad. I could still be young enough to return to the U.S. and do some good stuff, right? I just don't know how I'm going to get my assets over to Poland. Right? Most of my assets are tied up in stuff that's used to make Poland's prized discovery, right? Heavy, right? And uh, I guess I do have my Roth IRA. I could withdraw the initial contributions, just not the gains, right? Um, pray that. Pray that we have a fling that lasts 3 years, right? Uh, I don't know if it works well. It might as well be permanent, but at least 3 years. At least 3 years, right? Pray that. What else I need you guys to pray for? Pray that. Uh, the markets crash again, so we get another opportunity to uh, pray that. The finding a good place to live. Pray that. Here's what I need you guys to pray for. Maybe something happens that enables me to find. See, at the beginning of COVID-19, I really lucked out in terms of finding a good place to live. What had happened was nobody was traveling anymore. So when I went to Airbnb, I got a really good deal. I booked it for 3 weeks. We were told to lock down for 2 weeks, make sure to have enough toilet paper, and go find somewhere to lock down for 2 weeks, hunker down for 2 weeks. Remember those days? And so I booked it for 3 weeks just to be on the safe side. The 2 weeks came and went, and there was no signs of this thing ending. And then I discovered that Governor Inslee had signed an eviction moratorium, and my landlord was not allowed to increase the rent. And she wasn't happy about that. And there was a lot of back and forth. She didn't think it applied to her, and I had actually duplicated my key. I went to a local grocery store to duplicate it just in case things got really heated. And even then, things did get heated anyway, and so I kind of had to ignore her. But not fun. But at least I had somewhere safe to stay for the time being, and I got a really good steal on it. And maybe obviously I don't want another lockdown situation to happen, but pray for something to happen that enables another good deal here, right? Maybe everybody wants to leave Phoenix for whatever bizarre reason, right? Superstition or who cares, right? As long as I get a decent place. Although if everybody's leaving Phoenix, that might not be good for my job, right? So that's kind of a tricky thing, right? Uh, what else did I need you guys to bring? Okay, so Carta to get stolen after I move everything into the new apartment, the office building to burn down, a fling that lasts 3 years, and some nuclear meltdown of some sort that causes everybody to flee Phoenix, right? And you get the idea, right? Just pray for luck to be on my side. All of these things are improbable, but you know what? Improbable things have happened too. We just had a flood here at the home. Now, I really got this yesterday. I overheard my landlord talking to insurance adjusters, and I really got the feeling that my landlord got excited that she kind of hit the jackpot. She getting this payout and getting some work done for cheap. And I need something just like that too. That's why I got the idea that maybe our offices will burn down and that somebody might total my car, right? Oh, all right. I'm gonna have to look up what's the worst place to get your car stolen here in the Phoenix area and just park it there and leave it unlocked by accident and just walk away, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.